And I believe we are live. Let me take a look on my phone. See if I got a notification. Not seeing it yet. Boop, boop, boop. Are you seeing us on there? Oh, there we are.
Oh, we are live on the page. I am
Amazing.
seeing us, and I think yep, right there.
It's a miracle of modern science. Jeff is running the show tonight. So we got a Kenobi watch-along, episodes 3 and 4, if you guys are not sure. Hopefully there's people watching. I don't know who's in the room yet. We got 3 people. We'll talk about it some more as the next.
So we got a Kenobi watch-along.
Whoops, uh-oh.
Oh, we get feedback when I actually post up so I can see the chat. Sorry.
All right, good to know. Freaked me out for a second, but I think we're good. So how you doing, Dave?
I am doing well.
Yeah?
Oh, I'm excited for this. Like, episode 3 was crazy, ridiculously good, and I made a choice this week. I haven't watched 4 yet.
Oh, uh-oh. I'm going to talk over it.
It'll be fine. We'll talk over, and I'll probably talk over it, and then I'll go immediately watch it again.
I wouldn't blame you. It is pretty intense in some ways, and lots of craziness goes on, and there's some questions that are raised by it, but it's all in good fun. But we'll talk about that when we get there.
And we're like more than halfway done with this series now.
Yeah, we're 2/3. Once we watch these 2 episodes, we will be 2/3 of the way through this limited
Jackie Ann. What is going on?
Limited series, this limited 6. Whoops, hello. Now I'm doing the audio feedback.
See, I told you got to watch. That's where they happen.
Hello there, General Kenobi. So 2 more episodes. We're going to do singles of those because we will have caught up by then, since we were, at Celebration for the first 2 episodes and sort of recovering from Celebration for 3.
In many ways.
Actually, we didn't watch until after that 3rd episode for the first watch-along, so that kind of threw, a little monkey wrench into it. So that's why we're 2 last time, 2 this time, and then a couple singles, and we'll be done with this. What is supposed to be a limited series, but has been rumored lately that maybe more.
Maybe season 2.
That would be cool.
You know the mouse. When the mouse smells the money, they're going like, this has been their biggest premiere series ever.
Yeah, I heard it hit some huge numbers or something, but
they're doing it again.
Oh yeah, they capitalize. They know how to do that. That's for sure.
Now here's my speculation. Here's what I speculate. Do they call it Kenobi season 2, or do they use this to do like a Vader show?
Right. Yeah. Well, I've heard some stuff about the possibility of a Vader show, and it kind of sounds like it would be a harder take, having him be in the episodes as the villain. That is his bread and butter. He works. You wouldn't want him to be sort of sympathetic at all until he gets redeemed, obviously, in episode 6. Spoiler alert.
What? No.
Not episode 6 of Kenobi, mind you, although there may be some parallels, because I've seen some interesting stuff with parallels of all the episodes of this series in regards to the prequel and original trilogies. So, but yeah, so it's hard to see how they would, actually be able to do that one, I think, properly. But it could focus maybe more on Vader, but still be Kenobi-centric. Who knows? There's a lot of Vader in this one.
I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of Vader in this one, and, it's kind of like the format, it's out there, as, the Book of Boba Fett was very Mandalorian-centric. It was, and they just called it a different thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was basically season 2.5 or 2.9 or something, right before season 3 of the show's going to kick off, hopefully, well, not till next year, right? Early next year?
I think we saw dates that came out, and yeah, it was
It was like January, February. Yeah, early next year. Hopefully it's right around my birthday. That'll be cool. Early February. I would like that. Although I prefer it, I don't know what else they're going to... When does Andor drop? Is that December or November? Something like that. Anyways, we're probably way off in our dates.
I thought Andor was the next thing we were going to see, and it was going to be August.
Oh, okay. Summertime. End of summer.
I would not swear to that.
Pre-fall.
People in the chat that actually pay attention to things. Bryce, anybody?
Yeah, people that have knowledge. Kind of just throwing out thoughts. I got so much information at Celebration that it pushed out other information out of my brain, sort of like Kelly Bundy when she was trying to learn things in Married with Children. But
that's a deep cut right there. Yes, that's exactly how Kelly learned.
Lose some information and gain a little bit more, but yeah. Anyways, August 31st.
Yeah, Bryce says Andor is August 31st.
Yeah. So
people, we are not. If you're looking, we're not on YouTube tonight. We're doing some technical experimenting.
Right.
But we will have this up for your watch-along pleasures shortly after the conclusion of this broadcast. We'll go ahead and load that up there to the YouTube. But right now, we're just going to be live on the Facebooks.
Yes, sirree. We'll get it all straightened out very shortly, and we'll be good to go next time.
Yes. And I think like next time, I think it was next time, we may be, you're not going to be just staring at us again. I'm thinking there might be some guests coming up.
That's a possibility.
I don't know that we can release yet, but I think there's,
might
be some other people.
Good reason to keep an eye out on the Facebook page to see what could happen with that episode. Yes, for sure.
Absolutely.
And we should have our good pal Spencer back. He may show up in the chat tonight, but he's probably feeling pretty seriously jet lagged coming back from Italy right now. Thankfully, he made it home and he's in good health. And, he's going to do his recuperating and resting up from his vacation. Double secret vacation. More deep cuts.
Double secret.
Will be nice to have him back next week, and with another. He won't be the special guest. He will be special, but there'll be a special guest besides him.
He is just a regular person.
Just regular.
But, we're looking at some special guests for the next couple of episodes of Kenobi there, and I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, and we also don't know who's going to show up on Rebels Revisited. We may end up getting some guests on that show as well. So.
Oh yeah.
We've been talking about that.
Oh, I was talking about this the other day. So is Rebels Revisited? Is that bi-weekly? Is that weekly?
It's going to be every Monday.
Every Monday, so a weekly show. Excellent.
6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And what it's going to be is a mixture. So like we did sort of a. You were there. We did the it was more of a celebration recap and sort of what things popped up in relation to what would be talked about on the show and the show itself, Rebels, in celebration, and how a lot of that is really moving heavily into live action, and including Kenobi's getting elements of Rebels, and pretty much every live action show is getting sprinkled with a little bit of Dave Filoni dust, regardless of if he's fully involved or not, which is kind of cool.
In Filoni we trust.
Oh yeah, he's the remaker, as it were.
The remaker, I like that.
Or the updater, I don't know, but so they're gonna do. We're talking about a watch along for some episodes. I know people were throwing out ideas, and they want to do a lot of other kind of things. So it'll be a mixture of some of them may be pre-recorded, but ideally we'll be live and be able to interact in the chat with viewers, and especially for like a watch along. But other shows, depending on what the content is, maybe something we do in advance. But everything is going to be sort of mixed up in terms of watch-alongs every so often, and other types of shows every so often, so it won't be just the same thing every week. It'll be kind of cool.
And I'm going to give out a spoiler alert here for another new show. Had talks today, and we haven't found a time yet, so I can't announce exactly when. You got to watch the page and find out. For a post-celebration, celebrating autographs to talk about what actually went down and how things went, and
how all those elements worked in concert together in terms of the different
Frank and I are talking about that. We'll have Frank host and me produce that, and
sounds cool.
We're going to work out a time that doesn't conflict with Rebels Revisited, and we're going to work that one up for you.
Nice. That is. I didn't think about that, but Frank's show had technically ended.
Right. Well, that was the thing, is it had, but we'll figure out a time. We'll have a special, deal. And
well, if you do 5 to 6 or something, we could do 6 to 7 or whatever. Mm-hmm. So because that would be better for the East Coast, anyways. But we'll figure something out. We could always adjust. But other than that, so you haven't seen this 4th episode, huh?
I have not seen episode 4. As I watched 3, and I was like,
yeah, that's got some pretty intense stuff going on. And
really
the way, well, spoiler alert, the way Vader toys with poor Obi-Wan. But it's got some interesting stuff, and I like the way they're going with the show. It's got some parts that are a little off, but can't be perfect in everybody's eyes, I guess. But
so I want to find out at some point. Oh, look! It just popped up.
Hello there. He popped up. Just move your ear.
It's Kenobi himself. Looks like, hello there.
Hey, he looks a little better than the guy on the screen there in between us.
Yes, he's a little younger. This is the vintage one.
Not quite as disheveled.
No. But and we've got again coming up this weekend, this Sunday, barring anything unforeseen and weirdness, is we will have another episode of the Unifying Force.
Nice.
And what we're hoping to get out of the Unifying Force is our celebration review. We did a little celebration preview on what we thought was going to go on with the cult of Star Wars. And we got a lot of review to do that. And hopefully we will get our reporter on the street, our man on the scene, our friend Gio from London, giving us some, tips, tricks, advice, and potentially answering some questions about, what's going down with the Excel Center and how that's going to work for Celebration 2023.
Yeah, it'll be good to get some insight on that for anybody who's coming in from basically anywhere else.
And that's Sunday, 11 Eastern. What's that Pacific? 8?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The having that insight and being able to kind of give that out to people before they can get there is really beneficial. I was very happy that I could throw things in people's general direction in terms of stuff I knew about Anaheim and the LA area prior to Celebration Anaheim 2022.
And if those of you watching, check out our just the regular Facebook page chat, the posts and stuff going down. We've got several people that work for London, like Metro Transit or whatever they call it over there, who work for public transportation, the underground and the light rail or whatever, that are giving us some really cool tips. And based on the way the subway system works, like what areas of London would be good to find yourself a hotel for quick and easy access to the convention.
Nice, yeah.
So
you probably know.
Be reading on those if you're looking for booking a hotel or whatnot already.
Very cool. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to make London, unfortunately, but I will be there in spirit.
Absolutely. I will be following it the way many of you will be following it, right, on the Facebook page and the live streams and what will be going on at that time.
What's funny is some of those,
at least planned.
Yeah, some of those the ones that you can't make it to, I tend to almost pay more attention to than like the ones I was actually at.
Well, we were way too busy trying to do all the things.
Yeah, it was just
all the
nonstop.
Things, and then
Yeah.
you realize there's all the other things that completely.
Everything was on the opposite side of the convention center. Every time I wanted to do something, it was just like I had to go the entire length of upstairs, downstairs, all the way from north to south. From the arena to Hall E to get a poster, that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of that back and forth, it's a pretty big convention center, and that's a lot of time walking back and forth. And then, thankfully the hotel was close that I had, which meant I could, hobble over and drop stuff off if I needed to. But yeah, there was a lot of back and forth and up and down and round and round. Pretty much everything tended to be on opposite ends of stuff. But made most of it.
That would be a tip that I would give right there. Is I don't know that it's an option for the Excel Center, from what I'm hearing, but if you can get a hotel that you can go drop stuff off, or you could like take a little break, that's what you want to do. You had that situation that was right there. Mine was like a mile and a half down the street.
Yeah, it was a lot more effort for you. But
And I liked my hotel. It was quiet. It was not as crowded. I didn't have the problems that some people had, like crowding the elevators when the con ended and everybody trying to get back to the room at once.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
I loved my hotel. It was very nice. But I had to lug around everything that I took to get autographed and all the swag and all the stuff that I got every single day.
Right.
I had to carry it with me all day.
Yeah, that's one thing that's kind of, the post 9/11 age, lockers aren't as common. They did have them at Celebration 2 and 3 because Indianapolis Convention Center had them for some reason, even though it was early 2000s. And that was a lifesaver, be able to have a locker that was 3 feet tall and be able to put a backpack and a whole bunch of crap that you just bought at the Celebration store in there and not have to lug it around was very, very nice. I missed that at pretty much every Celebration since. And I question it regularly. I'm like, why are there no lockers here? And there's like places where they really could have them, but I understand it could be a security issue or whatever. But, they are beneficial, and for the most part.
That would have been amazing, just simply because carrying around the now fragile thing.
Oh, yeah, you were talking about that.
Like carrying around my autograph, I got a little bitty ding on the plastic.
Yeah, you can see it catch the light, yeah.
Yeah, they just get right there. A little bitty ding that was not there prior on my,
less handling
figure.
Could have been very beneficial in that case, for sure.
Yeah, and on, my Emily Swallow autograph, just the rubbing. I had it in a protector, but just the rubbing in the protector.
From your movement. Yeah, that sucks.
It rubbed the way, just a shade, but it's a memory. It's a thing.
You know how you got it that way. It's not like,
yeah,
you were doing
I'm not
something.
looking to resell it. I'm like, she signed this is the way. I know it rubbed. That's a memory of Celebration.
Yeah.
It's something I've learned to do better for next time.
There you go. Always learning. That is one thing. Celebration tends to be a learning experience for me, and I've been to 10 of them. It's like almost every time I learn something new or expand on something that I already knew in a big way usually. And then also understand other things like how much walking I should allow myself to do.
And to pack your hot glue gun.
Yeah, well, got to have the cosplay essentials. That was one thing that I really, really was happy about the hotel proximity. Was cosplay was made way more simplified by being able to go to the hotel room, put on my costume, walk out the door, and basically be at the con. That's cool. That was such a lifesaver in a few ways, and also allowed me to ultimately get right out of that cosplay when I needed to. and have the hot glue gun in the hotel room and put together my casual Mando for Sunday. I wouldn't have worn had I not been able to do that. Spend an hour in the hotel room hot gluing myself, and come out, with the final result, as it were, and then walk through security and have them question my foam weapons and all that fun stuff.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't do my cosplay on the final day. I was going to do kind of a low-key Jedi, like maybe even an Obi-Wan kind of deal. But I was like, well, I'm going to go to the con, and I'm not going to have time to Uber back to my hotel and change before I go out to dinner, with the straights, because we were going somewhere not, right there.
Right.
And then I was like, well, I'm cosplaying, but I need to carry this stuff with me in my backpack, and my backpack doesn't necessarily go with being a Jedi, and so.
It has a lot of variables. But I enjoyed what I was able. I actually brought a total. Well, I was planning on bringing a total of 8 to 10 cosplays. 3 of which would have been for someone else, for Lamont, because some of them are complementary, like my Rick Solo, he's Chew Morty, those go together. That all packs together in one bin for the most part, which is easy enough. But if we did Dark Troopers, which I could only bring one of, that is 2 bins each plus the helmet, because the armor is so big and clunky. And I only got one of those sets of armor there. What else? I was bringing. Oh, I brought a jumpsuit to do an X-wing pilot, because I had my Luke X-wing helmet and a bib and an orange jumpsuit. I didn't have the actual what's it called? The thing with the tubes on it in the box, whatever. I was going to borrow that from a friend. Yeah. I was going to borrow that from a friend, and ended up not doing it because I really didn't have my stuff together to get all that taken care of. But I did bring one of my casual cosplays from Chicago that I debuted, which was the alien carrying me around with my Yoda ears on. And I would have done a variation of that. Maybe I would have had the X-wing pilot helmet on, or some other helmet. That I didn't wear, but that was fun in Chicago because I was able to go up on the balcony and make it look like the alien was holding me over the balcony. I have some fun shots of that. But basically, we wore Rick Solo, Chew Morty on Saturday, and I did my casual Mando on Sunday, and that was it. Out of ideally at least 6 to 8 cosplays, that would have been.
You made enough trips.
I would have had to go basically just keep going back to the room and changing if I was going to wear all of them. I did bring Fat Mickey Vader, and he sat in the car, and then he went home. He never even made it to the room.
If you don't know what that is, people watching at home, if you Google Fat Mickey Vader.
Well, you could also just go to Facebook and look up Fat Mickey Vader, all one word. He's got his own page. But
just FYI, but if you do just Google search it, you find Jeff.
You will. One of the main photos for sure is me. But there are a lot of kind of variations of that. But yeah, so he was available, and really what I wanted him there for was so I could get a photo by the pool with my Death Star towel, Death Star beach towel, and do some lounging by the pool shots as Fat Mickey Vader, and that didn't come to fruition. So I had a lot of grand plans, and some were derailed by needs for rest and other things. So, it's always fun to plan celebration, but it's funner just to sort of experience it. And that tends to be what I do. So the beginning of the week was much more structured, even though I went way south the second day. But it was fun. So, anyways, we're getting close. We're gonna watch episodes.
We are getting close to the time, so
episodes 3 and 4. Get them queued up if you haven't on Disney Plus, and we will take a look at some great interactions between Obi-Wan Kenobi and his fellow castmates. And I was just looking at this pin I got off of Amazon the other day. It's the
is that the movable Vader?
Yeah, his saber moves. and I got it all bent up, and thankfully the saber was not like in the way of where they bent it, because it could have got mangled. But I noticed it was numbered. I didn't know they were limited. 86, 89 of 20,000. So that's kind of cool. I was going to ask April what number she got, because I think she got one as well.
I do believe she did.
But yeah, I saw it on, I think it was on Treasure Truck on Amazon, and I snatched it up because it looked cool. It is pretty cool. It's very much reminiscent of the pose that you see Hayden in that Annie Leibovitz photo from inside the sound stage that they sort of put together, where he's doing like a saber battle kind of thing with, I guess, Luke's cloak was the only cloak that they had, so they put that on him. You've seen that photo, right?
It's better than a Star Wars beach towel.
That's true. Well, Death Star beach towel is kind of cool, though.
Okay,
it was Celebrations.
Or it's I don't like sand beach towel.
No, that one. It gets everywhere.
Yeah. Did people get that? That was not still in the store by the time I got to the store. It was gone.
Really? It was completely gone? Because when we went in, which was after you, I saw at least one on the wall.
Oh, I did not. So,
whether or not it was available,
maybe I did not just find where it was.
Yeah, you might have. It
wasn't like there was any rhyme or reason.
That place was set up so weird. Anyways, we're getting very close. We need to start in a minute. But yeah, that store was questionable. They've always had issues with the store. Beginning with the first store, Celebration 1 had a weird little store that was like it was almost an afterthought, and all they had was Peg Warmer's action figures. Oh, and they had a really cool Darth Maul bomber jacket for $300 or something that they sort of replicated at one of the recent celebrations. In a similar fashion with like an embroidered Maul in the back. I forget if it was Chicago or the last Orlando. Maybe even the last Anaheim, but it was one of the last few. Anyways, so yeah, they didn't have a good selection of stuff. I got the T-shirt and a handful of other things, and really it was like, eh. And the lanyard they gave you said Sony Music on it for some reason, and it was yellow. It didn't say anything to do with Star. I think that's because the soundtrack was probably on Sony Music.
Anybody, anything, whatever, whoever gave you whatever.
It was bizarre. Anyways, so it's about time to start.
It is. Got your D+ machine queued up for Season 1, Episode 3.
I'm ready.
I am.
Part 3, not Episode 3. They're calling it Part 3.
Sorry, Part 5. Yes.
Like the chapters in Book of Boba Fett and Mando, I think, does chapters too as well.
Yes.
So we can do a countdown. We'll do a...
Sure.
I'll take it over for this one. We'll start at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey. Oh, and let's kill the audio. Hello.
Oh, yeah, kill your audio. Don't kill our Facebook feed. That's why I got the earbuds.
Yeah, yeah.
And don't skip. And
No
don't skip
skipping.
the recap. Watch your
No
recap.
skipping recaps. So that girl that Obi-Wan talks to there that tries to sell him death sticks or whatever, or spice, is actually Ewan's daughter, which is a very cool thing.
Yeah, I think it is, and I think it's cool that they went ahead and put her back in the recap for this.
Oh yeah, nice. What's funny though is he tells her he's looking for his daughter. He's like, you're talking to your daughter.
And he goes all Breaking Bad.
Yeah, this whole meth lab thing was pretty bizarre.
I liked it. I thought it was funny. The only thing that was throwing me off and throwing me out of world was the fluorescent lights.
Right. They're too much real world. Yeah, they could have made them look,
Swarzy.
Yeah, Empire-y or something.
Oh, that would have worked if you put like the Empire light grills over top of it.
Yeah,
or something.
just have those along the ceiling or something. Ooh, Stabby McGee.
Ooh. And then just the close up on his face right there. What?
Yeah. And this reveal is a great cut. Normally they do a slight transition, but that was just a straight cut, which made it more kind of abrupt and dramatic.
Yeah.
See, now this is another intro. Why would you want to skip this? This is so cool.
Oh yeah, I love. I talked about it last week where they've added like the armor in there and the mouse droid.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot. I noticed that. Didn't think about it. They do update it nicely every once in a while. I love the sand thing, which is very like anti-Anakin.
Yeah.
It's cool to see some new vehicles as well, like this transport and how things look, like the inside of this thing. And Obi-Wan trying to do his talking to the spirit world.
I need to know, has he ever talked to Qui-Gon, and is he just like...
Or is he... Yeah, it's been 10 years, right? You think he would have tried.
That he's been just trying to do it and hasn't yet succeeded.
Oh, yeah. Whether or not he's succeeded is the question. Because you'd think in this 10 years he would have tried at least a few times, because he...
Well, I think the Kenobi audio drama is canon. I think it is. And that takes place right after he got to Tatooine. Like, immediately. And he's trying there.
Some great quotes in here. Don't make me kill you.
I can't decide if this assembling Vader... I can't decide if it's like all Matrixy or Iron Man-y.
Yeah, it's got a... Yeah, it does kind of have a Iron Man feel with the parts all coming in from different directions. Anakin Skywalker. Makes me want to go bust out my helmet. So they're supposed to have a new version of that Black Series helmet with the red lenses like this, and a better paint job than the one that you and I both got, which I still don't have in the box next door.
Well, I've taken it out, I've put it on, and I've put it back in the box.
Yeah, I haven't even opened my box yet, but love the reflection. Yeah. I love how well they lit up Vader's chest piece and belt stuff.
And his belt pieces. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, they can get some impressive stuff like built, and they build Death Stars like it was nothing. This giant castle on Mustafar,
right?
I can't get like a sunroom added in less than like 5 years, but no, we built a castle
on lava.
Yeah,
those contractors must have been hating life.
So have we heard definitively, anybody over in the chat know or whatever, is this James Earl Jones or is this AI? I've heard both.
Yeah, they say James Earl Jones is the voice of Darth Vader, but like you said, it doesn't mean that it's newly recorded. I thought I heard a rumor at Celebration that they had done some sort of mixture with James and Hayden's actual voice. Like as because didn't he do the no? He did something in episode 3, didn't he? I can't remember. But if they kind of manipulated that sound to kind of go from an earlier Vader to what we know in the original trilogy, that would be kind of a cool thing to do, I think. But regardless of I noticed, because I was watching one of the Screen Crush recaps, and they were talking about Vader just in general, and how like in Rogue One he's such a badass, and when you hear him in Rogue One, you can tell it's James Earl Jones, but you can tell it's an older James Earl Jones, which is this version doesn't have that older feel to the voice. I think in terms of my ear. But
and that's why I tend to believe that maybe they've done what they did with Luke, is that they've AI'd it.
It's very possible, and I think there was talk that was going to be the way they were going to go for a lot of this stuff, just to keep the consistency there, and they have the library that they can pull from, so that's not a problem. with the technology, and they have the deep fake guys now working on their stuff, and so they have the capability to pretty much do whatever they want with any actor that they've ever used.
Now I'm waiting for like the gallery for this. I hope we get a gallery for this.
We have to get a gallery for this show for sure. One thing that we got spoiled with the original, what was it, 8-episode gallery for season 1 of Mandalorian? That was like you'd get a gallery every week along with the show, or whatever it was. I forget what the timing was, but it was pretty close. And then they got, to where they cut it down to 1 for the entire season, and because they had basically shown you everything in the background that kind of was happening, but they did update like the volume itself to a larger space and a slightly different shape based on acoustic issues. So that would be kind of cool to see them talk about as well. So when I saw this guy at first, I was sure that was some sort of big trooper, not a droid.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was a loader droid until they started to do this whole thing. It's interesting to see those Imperial Outpost flags. It reminds me of the actual 501st and stuff that they tend to do. And there was a 501st figure that was a stormtrooper that wasn't, I think it was blue, that had a little flag stand. And that always makes me think of that.
Look, it's a national park.
I have a feeling that's not too far from here. And I actually think I know somebody who might have been in an episode that has a pretty good idea where this is.
Joshua trees only grow in so many places.
Yeah, there's a place called Joshua Tree where they tend to grow as well. That's what I said when I first saw those trees. I was like, okay, Joshua Tree. Where in Joshua Tree?
Well, but it's not limited exactly.
Yeah, well, that's true. It's not just, it's not this.
There's a lot of private land right around there.
There's lots of desert space, and, Joshua Tree just happens to be named after the things that grow there. But they grow elsewhere as well, so. This is such a weird, his head, you can see his head is just.
It is PTSD.
At least he's able to hold it together.
Too, like the not really memes, but the like infographics or whatever that people are putting out now is like why it makes so much sense now that Leia chose to name her son Ben.
Right. She got this experience with Ben Kenobi.
Yes.
But the question is, this is amazing fortress. The question is,
the ship takes it out of for me a little bit because I think it's like the Batwing.
Yeah, it does have a very kind of Batwing-esque look. The question is why she calls him General Kenobi in the hologram later on, or if she knows that they're the same person. But it's hard to tell. Only, they can do whatever they want with that, which is one kind of cool thing.
And what's that random red thing right there? Is that security? Is there a metal detector?
That's like those ones we went through at Celebration. They just sort of scan you for large metal objects. She's got a lightsaber on her at least. You'd think she would have some sort of other sidearm, but maybe not. The Inquisitors, I guess, don't need blasters. They're just lightsabers.
Primitive weapon.
That's true. It's interesting how you can manipulate each other with the Force.
Yeah.
But you couldn't, fight it necessarily. Maybe he's just stronger than she is. See, the other question, because she's talking to Vader, is how does she know that and tell, Kenobi that Vader is Anakin? That's a big question.
I'm hoping that we get some more backstory on how she knows these sorts of things and what's up with.
Yeah, we're running out of time, so we got 2 more episodes after tonight's. We'll see.
Yeah.
You see, they had some retro-style figures of the Inquisitors that were going to come out. I saw a picture of them today.
I've seen that there are Kenobi retro-style figures. I think the only one I've pre-ordered so far is the Kenobi Wandering Jedi.
Mm-hmm. Very reminiscent of the 70s or 80s figures.
Yeah.
This is a trip how they launch these droids. And it's weird how they're like so concerned that they only have so many or something. It's like, can't you just order more from like Empire Central or wherever? Empire Mart?
Who knows?
Yeah. So this is going to be a destination that I have to seek out. But first I have to go to Simi Valley and find the area where they did the Jedi Temple Wishing Stone, whatever it's called.
Oh, yeah. Go Grogu it up for real and not just at Disneyland?
It's more, yeah. It's more like my new profile picture. It's more to go to and get the shots like where Boba and Fennec were fighting off the stormtroopers and shooting at Mando more than the spot where the temple was, because the temple is just a plateau that they made look really cool on the volume or on a blue screen set. But
that would be cool just to go take your like casual Mando and get some shots of you like firing.
Yeah, doing like the thing on the rock or doing with his knee or something. So now this guy, the like real mole man.
The mole man. I mean, sometimes I think Star Wars gets a little too literal in taking Earth animals and making them humanoids.
Yeah, basically, yeah. He's got a cool kind of thing going on. There's a lot of activity on his face.
Okay, and that second right there after he said hello was an eternity, because I'm looking for there.
Yeah, exactly.
We're waiting.
Have you seen that meme?
We're waiting.
The meme where he says hello, and then she's like, "This is my father," and he's all hello, and then it's like Krennic saying, "We were on the verge of greatness."
Yeah.
So now, Zach Braff is credited with in the credits. Is he the voice of this guy, or is he a trooper? I would think he would be this character because it's less generic.
Right.
But there's a meme also that shows Zach Braff. I don't want to call him Jack. Zach Braff with the mole guy, whatever Deck or whatever his name is, Drek. And then it shows Silent Bob and Ned B, which I'm pretty sure is not accurate. So,
I think that was just a Silent Bob joke.
Yeah, right.
It's like, because I think Ned B has been credited as being someone.
Okay, yeah, I think there was
I think there is a credited actor for that.
Right.
I can't swear. Okay, Bryce says yes, it's Zach Braff. Thank you for bringing content to the show in the chat. That's what we need. That's what we rely on. Freck.
Yeah, I said Drek or something.
Shrek.
Yeah, there you go. He's almost Shrek. He's got a similar kind of build. Orden and Luma.
See, this is more like kind of what they did with the biker scouts, and the other one is like you just see the everyday humdrum of being a stormtrooper.
Right. It's stuff you don't.
Yeah. It's the bureaucracy. They're moving us around. We got to go here. We got to go there.
Yeah. Usually, this side of the story was sort of skipped over, glossed over more than they would have concentrated on the heroes and like cut to something else going on. But since this is Kenobi, it's like it doesn't have the 3 storyline thing going like a normal Star Wars movie.
Yeah. And there's a new toy we can get is the space truck.
There you go. The ore hauler or whatever the hell it is. Also that one that he takes from the space whale cutlery place. Butcher shop or whatever.
Oh yeah.
When he's in the same transport with Kevin's character, yeah. I'm sure they're going to come out with a handful of new vehicles eventually. But I would think at this point they'd have a better line on getting this stuff sort of ready to go right when the show comes out.
You would think. Well, but I don't. But they're doing the same thing with figures. Like in the OG days, they knew the figures were like, well, not the original because they had no idea, and then they had to do the thing.
They had to play
But
catch-up.
like in the middle ones, like in '83 and in the prequel eras, the figures came out before the film.
Yeah. A lot of that was spoilery stuff too. Get an actual.
But now everything's pre-order this, pre-order that. They don't make anything on spec. They don't, put it out there and risk having a bunch of them left over. They're like, nah, we're going to let you tell us how many we need to make.
Right. Well, that's sort of the HasLab model, but then they blow up the ship after you fund it. Yeah, so I remember that a lot from the prequels, both with the soundtrack and the action figures, playsets, vehicles. You would get, just from the soundtrack alone, you'd get a whole list of spoilers. Because the tracks would be named after events in the movie. And so if you didn't have an idea what was going on in the movie yet, and you read the thing, this is an interesting scene. I wish I could say I was. There's a meme of that where he's like looking at the picture of her from what was the movie where she Closer, where she played a stripper. Natalie Portman, that is. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it.
Yeah. What? Natalie Portman is who?
Anyways.
Well, it could have been worse. It could have been pictures of Natalie Portman from The Professional.
Oh, well. That's not good.
Not cool. But I think it's really cool that, he tanks it. He blows the cover deal, and Leia is the one who comes up with their real cover story.
Right. He's like floundering, and she's like this, that, and the other, and they're like, okay, good to go. This is crazy.
But we do get a lot of real kind of insight into Obi-Wan at this. Is him talking about, I just remember my mother's shawl. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. You never hear of like his upbringing or his, anything before, we see him in episode 1. I'm sure there's stuff that covers that, literature or whatever, but nothing that I've ever encountered.
Yeah. I love this part with the little laser fence of the guy like standing over to the side going.
Yeah, on both sides, really, you could just run around it. Like right there, you can see it. It's like, dude, okay, you don't need to try to go through it. You just go around it. There's a hill. You walk up the hill and you walk down. On the other side, it's totally wide open. Right behind.
Oh yeah, like right behind that bunker.
Yeah.
You could drive the truck.
Yeah, pretty much.
Behind the little tower.
Pretty much.
I mean, you're going to run over a couple of Joshua trees, but you just...
Maybe a stormtrooper, but you're good.
I think so far that this is the most, meme-tastic, memeable...
Episode? Chapter? Whatever they called it.
I mean, of, any of them.
You mean the show itself?
Boba Fett,
yeah.
Of all the shows, this one, just about the memeiest.
It relates back to everything so well, so... This is freaky when this droid came in. I love his move where he hides her. But it's like, they should have said, step away from the kid or something. And then this part, raise your head. Why didn't he pull... I love the... Reminds me of the ones they had on the celebration floor. Those were so cool. Snap. Waited so long. He's looking right at it for 5 minutes. See now, okay. All this goes down. This is great. I love this. Poor Freck. Ooh. Oh, he snap. Cut that guy right in half. Okay, knocks him out. That's what happened. Yep. Stormtrooper's got to play the kill the kid card.
Yeah.
I love this further. Wow. It's like he shot right past her braid.
He just goes for something that's so uncivilized. I mean, he just goes all John Wick on the whole deal.
Yeah, he's very adept with that blaster. See that you either shoot something to open it or you shoot something to close it. It always works that way. It's great.
Yeah, and then look, here's another.
Yeah, these guys got here timely.
And this part I don't get either. He just took out 6 and there's like 4 more guys. Shoot them.
Yeah. Start shooting as they roll up. You could have went bam, 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 and shot them 3.
They didn't even have their blasters raised.
Right.
They just walk out, and it's just like, it wasn't even 4 guys, was it? It was like 3 guys.
Yep, 3, and her.
Yeah.
But they wanted her to take them out so they could show her allegiance or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could have walked way around that one side and easily on the other side. It's good to, that somebody came to save him because he needed it. But is this the person he was supposed to meet? Did we figure that out?
Yes. I think they did say it because she said that, hey, you weren't there. I was coming. I got delayed. I think this is who he was.
Right. That was his original contact.
By the fake Jedi guy.
Right. Where he was seeing Anakin. I have an issue with the fifth brother's helmet in this scene because it's a little off center. And I'm like, couldn't somebody in the wardrobe just go, eh? I love how easy it is to hide from people walking by. You just stand against the wall. They don't even see you. Don't duck. Nope. Don't do anything. Just stand against the wall. But the other thing I really like is the throwbacks to, throw forwards to Leia's future outfits that she's wearing.
Oh, yeah.
Hairstyles and future outfits.
And wasn't cool. that was one of the ships from Rogue One that just flew away?
Oh, okay. Yeah, they do tend to drop in some cool ship references. Lola.
Lola, who is allegedly a pet bird that
Carrie
Fisher actually had?
That meme is inaccurate. She did have a pet bird, but the name was not Lola. It was like Mr. Fizzlebottom Thurston the Third or something weird like that. It's a name, but she did have a pet bird. It would have been really, really kind of bizarre if it was named Lola. But
I thought that was
it's too spot on,
deep cut that Filoni would have gone, but no, you can't trust anything you see on the internet.
But the idea is great. I love the idea that she had a bird named Lola, but the bird's name was not Lola. So
yeah, and that would not have worked if you called your droid Mr. Fizzlebottom.
It's some weird actual name. It may, I don't know if it was Fizzlebottom. That came out of my head. It was like a Simpsons reference or something.
That works for me. I would trust that on the internet more than the Lola. It's Carrie Fisher had a bird named Mr. Fizzlebottom. I like it. That's my new headcanon.
There you go. I like how she introduces her, she's Lola, but then gives her proper L0, L0LA59, code number, whatever. That's one thing that's fun if you get into the droids at Mubo's droid depot in Batuu and Galaxy's Edge. The Droid Builders Club does a lot of fun variations of those droids and the names that they come up with, and based on how you customize your droid can always be kind of fun with a series of letters and numbers to make it very droidish but kind of represent whatever the design is. So I have BBD5CO, which is BB Disco.
Yeah, but that's been a tradition since they've put other droids in the in the movies, like R2KT.
Right. Well, she was only in the sequels, but she's been around since the prequels.
Yeah.
And they've had action figures of her in, the 2000s or whatever, which is a great sort of monument to the little girl, Katie, that Albin Johnson's daughter from the 501st. But the fact that
Bryce says there's a rumor that the loader droid was not a droid, but it was Wrecker. Tell me more about that. That dude's not big enough to be Wrecker. Wrecker's.
Yeah, he is similar size, but why would?
Why would Wrecker be masquerading
Yeah,
as a droid?
exactly.
I don't know.
And being quiet, because Wrecker is not quiet, right? He's the opposite of quiet. So I think it's more likely that Kevin Smith is in that costume than Wrecker. Although he's huge, that is definitely not Kevin Smith. It's like Kerry Jones huge.
Well, I guess it is good, big, because those are,
But so this whole setup had me kind of confused with this back room, and it seemed like it was a patio, but then it's not. It's like enclosed. But I love this whole thing right here, this reveal.
Yeah, he's like, I am going to smash you with.
Don't make me destroy you.
Which is interesting how you can get a droid that's not allowed to talk. They don't program them to talk, but they can be programmed to have this, I'm going to smash you with a hammer.
This whatever allegiance. He's not supposed to have, what did they say, communicate or whatever, but you could, he was communicating with both Lola and Leia. So that sort of throws that idea out the window. And he was communicating technically with those troopers, even though he was being very low-key about it. This is kind of a cool little back room area. But you'd think they would know that the way that these buildings are designed, that would be something that's part of it.
Well, as big as that room is, you're going like, okay, I went into the little droid shop and the building is this big.
Shouldn't it be deeper?
But then again, stormtroopers not overly observant and bright.
That's true. And these are conscripted troopers. They're just guys that wanted to get out of the backwaters of Tatooine, as it were. I like the Jedi graffiti though in this room. It's not vandalism, and that's why I love it. To quote Louise Belcher from Bob's Burgers. Still got to see that movie. I'm a big fan of Bob's Burgers. I'm surprised I haven't seen the Bob's Burgers movie yet. I think I'm going to see Jurassic Park first, though.
Have you seen Maverick yet?
Yeah, we went on the Monday, or Tuesday, Monday after Celebration. Okay. Yeah, you were on your way out.
Right, okay.
And we
went. Making sure you've seen it, because that's a must watch.
It's a great one, yeah. It's a really good semi-reboot, sequel, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
A lot of parallels that are fun.
Well, I think it's kind of both.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's kind of like The Force Awakens.
Yeah, it's got that kind of vibe, but it's also got its own real thing going on. And it's got great Star Wars references, whether or not they're on purpose. We were sitting there. It was me, Lamont, Frank, Spencer, Leo, and I forget the other guy's name. One of the Dutch guys, and then Mark. I think. No, maybe not the other Dutch guy, but Mark for sure. And then Chris and his daughter in front of us, and they say the line and show the thing that totally references Star Wars, and everybody in the row is like, Star Wars! Trench Run! It was so funny. I was like, yep, everybody's thinking the exact same thing. All right.
Yeah, so this... We won't give you Top Gun spoilers, Bryce, but you need to watch it. You, run, don't walk.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's worth it. It's got some amazing cinematography. Locations are awesome. Story's very good. It's just done well.
From what John said, I want to go back and watch it in 4D.
Yeah, 40X, if you can do it with, something where you have moving seats would be very cool. This whole scene is intense right here. Vader DGAF.
And this is on Disney Plus, people.
Yeah. Well, we already saw the trooper get sliced in half.
Right.
So,
but I mean, this is
look at that, snap that neck.
This is the guy that people love. I mean, he's the bad guy, but yes, people love. He just snapped the dude's neck.
It was just this whole thing with them not going through that tunnel and being like as far away from they could be as already. This bugs me. The fact that they're like lagging and not like pushing it hard to get away.
Run away.
Close the door, run away, get out of there, make sure nobody can follow you. Put something in front of that door. Look at that. Ugh. Crunchy McGee. This is just Vader doesn't care. Vader's like
and I
honey
guess
badger.
Vader is doing this to bait Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah,
he
he's
knows
really
what's going on.
He's creating suffering to bring Obi-Wan out, I think, but it doesn't work quite that way. Spoiler alert. Although, but this is just intense Vader. This rivals some of that Vader in Rogue One, but he was just hardcore in that scene in Rogue One. Well, I'm talking about on the lead up to the Tantive 4 scene, because he's in a couple scenes in Rogue One. Even with Krennic, he was pretty intense. So somebody in wardrobe straightened out the Fifth Brother's helmet. I'm glad, because it was bugging me. I get a little OCD at times, but not most of the time. So it gets way out there.
Oh yeah, big dramatic wide shots. Yep.
So they did the poster for, wasn't that the poster we got at, or people got at Celebration, was that shot?
I don't think it was that dark. It was like
No, it was a variation of that scene, though, with Kenobi standing there and Vader with his saber. And I've seen a lot of artists kind of complain about the way the poster was done because the perspective is wrong. Because it would be like Vader would be like kneeling as opposed to standing based on the angle. But in that shot right there, it was quite proper. I think it was the interpretation into print form where they lost it. But I still think it looks cool, even in the print form. This is so cool.
This is very reminiscent of like the lighting in Rebels and Twin Suns.
Right. They a lot of these dark scenes with lightsaber lighting have a lot of kind of parallels to different Rebels episodes. Also, this is reminiscent of the scene with Anakin and Dooku in that hangar where Dooku's ship was, because that was the first, where he was hitting stuff, and that was the first time that they used an illuminated blade to shoot with. So they got better, more accurate lighting, especially on their face and in different things reflecting.
Instead of using the like
all post.
rods.
Yeah, or trying to light it some other way. Yeah, they would have the fiberglass or the aluminum rods without any lighting, and have to add all the saber lighting in post. It's interesting how she can pick up on whatever's going on here. But also, I'm just like, why are there not doors to close between you and wherever she is? And then, anyways, let's continue to watch. It's interesting how they showed Ned B take off already. Otherwise, it's like, what would she have done when
she had like ripped him up or done something,
crushed him or something? Then she gets this vibe. This whole scene, the way people, this scene confuses me a bit. Both this part and the part with Reva that we were just watching, which continues. The way people just all of a sudden show up.
Right. It's like, whoa.
Where did Vader come from?
That stealthy.
Yeah. And it's like, you rush up on him and you do like that Jedi speed run that we see a little bit in Episode 1 and some of the video games. What happened? What I really wanted to see in that scene, well, I'll wait to talk about it because it could happen still. But this part is confusing as well. It's like she's still coming after him.
Listen to the 10-year-old.
Yeah, that 10-year-old gives some good advice, but
Oh, Sherry says she thought seeing Ned B leave is what tipped her to go in the building.
Oh.
I don't know. I interpreted it as the Force.
Well, she did walk up and do that weird thing with her hand, but she might have got the vibe to check from his leaving. The way he just walked out and sort of had somewhere to go.
Yeah.
This is such an intense scene. You can see the strength of Vader versus the lack of whatever from Kenobi. And that hair. He's getting tossed like a rag doll. He could totally destroy him. But he's like playing with him. It's like cat and mouse.
And at this point, Obi-Wan should be going like, I thought I did.
It's like, ooh, steam, that's a good trick. So now, she doesn't like Jedi graffiti as much as I do. Spoiler alert.
So, but this is, she's seen the same thing he's seen. It's like Quinlan is like.
Well, she sees
seen
that Jedi symbol right there is what triggers her, it looks like.
See, I think that's just her thing right there, is that's more evidence that she's
who she
a former Padawan.
Right. Very much so. And the fact, what we see later in the reveal that she does in the next episode. Oh, you didn't see that yet. Never mind.
I haven't seen that yet.
Spoiler alert.
I haven't seen that yet.
I didn't give away too much of it. Vagaries, whatever.
But yeah, like Bryce, the cinematography of this is great. I love the.
Well, and the space they're using is a trip too, because it's like this kind of construction sort of a quarry type area. This is crazy right here where he.
Oh, the flammable ore or whatever that he just lights with this. Yeah. Again, this is getting like way like Point Break, Keanu Reeves, John Wick. It's like, oh, throw the cigarette and light out the pool of gasoline.
Yeah. This is crazy, but one thing that bugged me was how he doesn't, like, he's in the fire. You'd think that some of his hair might catch on fire. His beard, maybe. He's getting burned. You can tell he's freaking out, but it's like you don't see it like you saw with Anakin.
And all the stormtroopers show up just to watch.
So you can see there he's got like robe burns or whatever.
Burn on his shoulder.
So it's interesting. Ooh. Snap.
Bye-bye.
How easy that stuff is to ignite. Like you said, with a cigarette. So a blaster bolt or a lightsaber scrape, good to go. That's very volatile stuff. But Ned B's there to save the day. Is he related to Cardi B?
I hope not.
It's almost got the same posterior. No, not quite. Not quite. Anyways, so I love the flames in his eye and his lenses. That's so cool. But this whole thing where he could have totally just put the fire out if he wanted to, and went through and went after him. But he's just like, all right, we'll play again later. Look at these people. Poor people. It's depending on what number Inquisitor they are, the more lights they have on their suit. Because fifth brother had a bunch.
He does.
Third sister, which is Reva, only has a couple, maybe 3 that I can think of. And whatever sister, fifth sister, whoever that other sister is, not fifth, I don't know what number she is.
47.
Yeah. 66th sister.
Like 1.
But she had a few, and then she had some on her like headpiece too. So she's only got. I thought she had ones on her chest. So the fact that she got there before Leia bugs me.
Well, yeah, it's like, where does this go? Does the tunnel do this or?
Yeah, how did that work exactly? Did she find an alternative way to follow the tunnel? Anyways, that was a great episode.
It was a great episode. Lila says she's the twisted sister. Actual information. Like, oh, it's Dee Snider.
There you go.
Bryce says that it would be the fourth sister.
Fourth sister?
Actual information and humor.
I'm going to go grab a water real quick, so let me jump.
Go grab you a water. I'm going to sit here and we'll just keep, let's cruise through we're looking at the credits while you're doing that.
I'm going to queue up my next episode so that I'm ready to go when I come back. Here we go.
Bryce thinks that Reva had been there before, maybe. Yeah.
Ooh.
Right.
Well. That's pot. Well.
Zach Braff. There he is, right there. Indira Varma. I wish they would tell us specific. James Earl Jones as the voice of Darth Vader. But again, they credited Luke before, and we've seen stuff like, I've seen like leaked set footage that has like other guys other than Hayden in the Vader suit. So we're like, well, this guy does this and this guy does that. What does Hayden do? We don't know who's doing what in the suit. Cast by Carmen Cuba. Unit producers. And you get to listen to this lovely John Williams theme in the background. It's like, yeah. Visual effects. Yeah. I wish they would give us, like I said, is who's playing what is that would be helpful. I know you can find it on IMDb later, but yeah, it'd be nice to see it right there. So everybody, that's our first episode, and we're getting ready. We're going to go into season 1, part 4. Really,
some of us haven't watched yet.
I know,
but some of us
it's gonna be a thing.
I ended up rewatching the first 5 minutes twice because I kept pausing it for some reason, and then I was surprised at how many times I'd paused it in the first 5 minutes. So I just was like, screw it, I'm gonna back it up and watch it over. We get introduced to a new character or two, which is interesting. Somebody that we knew was in the show if we had any idea of the casting, but hadn't seen yet. If that gives you any hints. But I have a picture of that particular cast member sitting next to Hayden at the screening. Not a very good one, but a picture nonetheless. Because I was trying to be all sneaky and not be like, I'm going to pick a picture of you guys. But
there's mention in the chat that with Hayden in the suit, you'd have to have like lifts and padding and all sorts of stuff. All right, Bryce. Good night, man.
Yeah. Have a good one, Bryce.
But
video game references.
Hayden's nowhere near as large as Dave Prowse, but I
think he's mostly
things that they do with forced perspective and different camera tricks at this point. They did a lot of. The stuff they did with like Hagrid.
Right, to make him look huge.
I know how much you love the Harry Potter, but
But yeah, he's a monster of a man compared to the rest of the characters, as it were. But I think mostly Hayden is in the like Bacta tank scenes and the stuff where it's helmetless Vader more than it is him in the suit. I would imagine there's an actor in the suit that's doing the Vader acting.
Well, I was saying while you were getting your drink is I've seen some behind the scenes alleged set photos on the internet.
Yeah.
Of like two different guys in the suit and saying, well, this guy does the stunts and this guy does the walking around. And
right.
What does Hayden do?
I think they were credited that way in some things that I've seen somewhere. It might even, I don't know if you looked in the credits for this one, but maybe in the first episode that he was in, they had them listed.
I didn't see that closely. But...
Yeah, we can always IMDb it later.
Yep. But it's the kind of thing that makes sense that they're doing at this point. That they've done with the Mandalorian from the beginning is, how physically little, allegedly, the Mandalorian is actually Pedro Pascal.
Right. It's
Keith and Brendan the majority of the time.
Yes, very much so. It's a team effort. So they each kind of bring their own element to the character, which is cool. You know, obviously Pedro's the voice and the face, and Brandon's the walk, and Lakeith is the badassery. So, you know, they do their things, and it combines to an amazing character. And when you tell people that had no clue, that actually pay attention to the show, you get this like light bulb goes off over their head where they realize, like, oh, that's this guy, that's this guy, that's that guy.
Well, you totally do, because when you know to watch for it and you know who Brendan Wayne is, you know, you start to see that like family swagger.
You can spot that, yeah, when it's a Brendan Wayne scene, it's like, that's him, there he is. And he did that, I mean, that's how he walked around the convention floor, so, you know, that is him. You know, but once he gets in that character, I'm sure he turns it up a bit to do his gunslinger thing, which he does really well. So again, having that pedigree, that in his genes, as it were, from his grandfather, which is the airport where most of the people flew into in Orange County. But anyway, so we ready to start the next episode, episode 4?
We are. Mine is my little spinny is spinning. Give me
All right.
a second.
Everybody else, get your stuff set up, and we're gonna get going here in a second. This, like I was mentioning earlier, there was talk of these individual episodes of Kenobi almost having parallels or mirroring to individual episodes of the sequel or prequel and original trilogy. So keep an eye out in this one to some elements that are reminiscent of episode 4. A movie called Star Wars.
Video game references.
Yeah, he likes to have fun with the video game references. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's similar, and you know, it's a good one though. I really enjoyed this one. It's got, again, some, you know, there's some things like how did Reva get there so quickly kind of stuff, but you know, ultimately there's a lot of intensity in this episode as well. And
that's cool. I'm ready for the countdown. I've got it.
All right. I'm ready to start. Everybody, episode 4, or what do they call it? Part 4 of season 1 of Kenobi. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. And I don't understand why they didn't retcon that thing with the lightsaber.
Oh yeah, they didn't put that in.
They do it in the trailers. So here's a great recap of them being out in the desert. More desert planets.
Yep. Well, at least it's a new desert planet.
Yep. So she only has one light, actually.
Like, I want the position of Grand Inquisitor. Why is that so special? I'm just boom.
Shooting the droid in the eye always does the trick.
I can't find the remote. Well, when you get caught up, just ask for time code again, and we'll catch you up there.
Yep, we're just watching the recap still. Some vicious Vader action right here.
Oh yeah.
And then this is the way that his suit looks with the blue and the red, and the fire off of it is just amazing. That suit just picks up the light so well. You know that's not who you're supposed to meet.
Yeah.
Supposed to meet the dead guy. Oh wait, too late.
Dun, dun, dun.
I love how they keep the Lucasfilm logo very classic, but getting like that gold version is really cool.
Yeah. Oh, more people. There's a Ned B in there.
Oh, was there?
I think it was. Oh, there's a Lola.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. We were just talking about the last episode, how they mix it up. They can do it anytime they want.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool.
And there's your saying.
It's the anti-Anakin show.
Rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
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 It's It's going to be everywhere from now on. They did it to
That's a
themselves.
spoiler alert for some of you who got something from the Celebration store.
If you weren't paying attention, if you do like me and you just read it the way you're supposed to read it, or not read it the way you're supposed to read it the way it's supposed to be printed, as opposed to the way they print it, then you skip over typos like that one. But yeah, everywhere and everywhere are two different words.
Yeah, he's still got way too much hair and beard left.
Yeah, he should have had some kind of burnt, crispied something. Not quite
like
right.
The Kylo scar on down the side of the.
They should have took his beard down to closer to like a old Ben level or something, from burning and singeing. Because I've had like just a lighter, singe eyebrows or part of my mustache or something.
Oh, there you go. He's
Okay.
in the back.
This is a parallel to Luke, but that's actually in episode 5 when he's in the Bacta tank, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's the whole thing with Vader at the same time in the Bacta tank.
Absolutely.
And then this is like a very kind of Book of Boba Fett thing where he's having these freaky flashbacks while he's in the Bacta tank.
Oh yeah.
And then also like he's got that respirator, which is much more similar to Luke's, although he doesn't have a nose plug, which kind of is weird.
No. I think it's way similar to like Starship Troopers.
Oh yeah, that too. But Vader's, he's got that whole mouthpiece that looks very much like a Vader helmet element.
Yeah. Lila, we're at 4 minutes even. 4:02, 4:03, right in there.
4:07 right now. But anyway, it's close enough. Right in there.
You're a couple of seconds.
A couple of seconds.
Uh-oh, no, my father's Got
to pull the princess card. I'm a Disney princess, don't mess with me. I love how she's just like so semi-proper and trying to be, she does a great job of being brave.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we see the roots of the little smartassery,
Yeah, how flippant she was in episode 4.
Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?
Yeah, that too. But you can see she's kind of wearing on her.
Right.
So here we go. This is the character I was talking about that we were told about the actor, but hadn't seen the character until 4 episodes in. So O'Shea Jackson Jr., Ice Cube's son, he was in the audience at the screening that Thursday of Celebration, sitting next to Hayden. So I have a picture of him like going like this with a mask on, and Hayden sitting next to him looking at his phone. Because I just walked by and went click, kept going. I love that line though about him, about everybody needs their help that's trying to move a rock with their mind or whatever, all the way from here to Coruscant. Oh yeah, I'm talking over it. You haven't even watched it.
No, I'm seeing it. I got it in. I've got the subtitles up. It's fine.
I like how he dressed him as General Kenobi, or General.
Yes, yeah. I mean, he's like General, but he's like, I'm going to give you the correct title, but I'm not doing anything for you, because that means nothing anymore.
But then he changes his tune right here.
Yeah.
I love the retro style graphics.
Yeah. But updated. Retro style, like, it's not just on a screen anymore like there, but it's the same kind of
hologram, but yeah. I thought they were joking when he said that. Fortress Inquisitoris. But that's the name.
Right.
It's kind of reminiscent of a Jedi or a Sith Wayfinder, except it's four-sided.
Oh, T-47s.
For hauling sewage.
What? Lila says Felix so much like Ice Cube. That's crushed ice. Like, let's go. And there's the, we don't.
So this is a. Oh, there you go.
Waterworld. Kevin Costner's going to show up.
Yeah. I love these little sort of inklings of trying to use the Force. So there's a part coming up that kind of, there was a weird disconnect I felt. You'll see it. Because after this discussion, stuff happens that, and you miss an element that they don't show you right away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a nice little moment there where he's just trying to move the little dooflappy.
Right.
Oh, and look, we have little kid handcuffs.
The Empire has a supply of all different size handcuffs. Grogu size, Leia size, regular person size.
Wookiee size.
Oh yeah, no, those don't fit.
They barely fit.
They don't fit. They couldn't close them. They were too small. They didn't have the right size at that point. If it was really troopers and not Han and Luke, then maybe they would have the right size. They would have known what cabinet to look in. I love how she busted out that one piece of like wall just to take it with her. It's like, right. I want this graffiti. She couldn't take a picture and have like a hologram of it.
So there's, the data pads. It's not, you gotta have. Here's a couple. Kenobi.
I love how like you can see she's like thinking about it, but then she's like, "Screw you, lady." Yeah. So another water planet.
Yeah, Camino.
Yes, the waters aren't quite as active as Camino. Look at all those ties. See all those ties. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird how they treat TIE fighters differently sometimes. We see them land at some point and fold up the wings, and then they just got them like hanging from the ceiling.
A lot of the hangars, they're up at the top. Yeah, or in like Rise of the Resistance, there's one up on the side of the wall, like in Force Awakens or whatever that was.
Yeah, nobody like checks an ID or anything. Oh, okay, I've got like an Imperial uniform. It's like, you could have put Leia.
Well, spoiler alert.
Oh, is this what the red things are for?
Identification.
Oh, there you go.
He's got which rank is he? I'm higher than him. I'm higher than her too.
Oh, they're using the little dooflachies like the cylinders, like in Mando.
So that's the first time they were seen actually doing something, although they've been seen on everybody's flight suit or uniform for decades. But in Mando, they actually used them to put them somewhere, and that's what he's doing as well. She turns it around on him pretty well, though. That guy needs a big beard and like a Yosemite Sam mustache, and then he would be cool. There he is. He just like
that guy.
Just like that. There we go.
Just like that.
Yep. That would be cool. So she made it in through the freaky deaky security checkpoint. I love how she just finds a random workstation. Nobody gives it.
Put your hands over your head. Look.
Yeah. Watch the thing spin around. So now here, When did they ever disembark? When did he ever disembark that ship on her way
Yeah,
in?
who knows?
And
He's using his rebreather again, like
yeah,
he did in the
episode one.
prequels. Yeah.
There's a lot of throwback stuff for sure. I love how his hair moves in the water. And then this thing is just such a weird convenience, I feel.
Oh yeah, as Lila was saying, how she loves Tala.
This guy's all suspicious. What's going on
Well,
in here?
like, why do you have a random underwater what?
Yeah.
What's that about?
Yeah, what goes in and out of that normally? And then he just throws the guy in there.
Like Imperial submarine warfare? I don't what.
Yeah, they drop. Look at that. This is reminiscent of Kylo and Rey as well.
Yeah. And I mean,
You'd think she'd be able to manipulate a child a little bit more, but she's not an ordinary child.
Because Leia is so force sensitive.
So this bugged me right here. That droid.
Guys, Jar Jar enters in the underwater.
Well, that's it. Yeah, it's got a passage to Unta Gunga.
Oh no, the droid takes a lot of abuse.
I don't know why the droid decided to like rush her. What was she gonna do? But she doesn't crush her or stomp her like.
Yeah, like the flea did.
Flea, yeah, that's who did it. We don't see what happens to her. More droids. Look, mini probe droid, seeker droid, yeah. That sort of reminds me of Rise of the Resistance as well.
Well, yeah, the hallways and yeah.
With the droid that pops up. Spoiler alert if you haven't been on Rise of the Resistance. If you haven't been on Rise of the Resistance, what's your problem? Anyhow.
Right, you need to do it like today.
You should have gone already. My wound from the hotel bathroom is feeling itchy all of a sudden.
Oh no!
It's all healed. It was pretty gnarly looking for a while.
Oh, there's your little terminal, the communicator-y thing just sitting on the thing. Like
yeah, leave it like in A New Hope.
Yeah. Oh, he at least knows to shut doors. But close the door, close the door, close the door.
Those things don't have a very efficient scanning ability if they can't sort of get more degrees in there.
Not look through the window.
Yeah. Maybe scan through the door and not just look through the window. Yes. I love this. Yeah. This is so bizarre because the way. Okay, I'll let it go down here first.
Yeah, there's just. Why is there another hallway inside the wall to the hallway?
It's sort of like the little areas that the Geonosians were stuck up in episode 2 when they were inside the Geonosian hive or whatever. They all in the walls, sort of.
Sherry, have you never seen Batuu? Like on either coast?
She's never been to Galaxy's Edge. Galaxy's Edge is the best. Well, it's good. Rise of the Resistance is the best.
Rise is amazing.
The Smuggler's Run is fun. I actually prefer Star Tours, but I get to fly sometimes. So the whole thing with those weird passageways just bugs me. The fact that they didn't know that maybe a sound came from in that weird passageway that they should know exists there on their freaking beat through this.
Yeah. You would think you would know, oh, there's a space behind that wall.
Maybe that's where the noise came from. Let's look over there. So that kind of stuff is just a little off.
Okay, yes, Sherry, you must go to a Disney property. You need to go to West or East and get to Batuu. There's
Disneyland proper or Hollywood Studios in Florida?
And I mean, I prefer it in Disneyland proper just because I am a Disney person and I want to go spend some time in Disneyland.
Right, the original Waltz
Hollywood
Park.
Studios is just kind of like.
Hollywood Studios does have some good elements, but yeah, I think I prefer what is available in Disneyland proper as well, besides Galaxy's Edge. But Galaxy's Edge is where I spend about 85% of my time when I'm in Disneyland. So,
but see, Disneyland, you can go ride Space Mountain and go to Batu
and go to Star Tours and.
Well, you can go to Star Tours.
Yeah, Star Tours is the exterior of Star Tours in Hollywood Studios is amazing. But yeah, the fact that you do have Space Mountain as well, and you have a bunch of other stuff.
Because I mean, other than
and that's usually what my walking is I walk into the park, I walk to Batu, I walk around Batu, I leave Batu, I go to Star Tours and Space Mountain, I walk back to Batu, walk around Batu, I leave the park. You know, it's like Main Street.
Well, I like the fact that after everything was like done and gone, and on your way out, it's like I stopped at Indy.
Oh yeah, that's really hit the stuff on the way out too. Any kind of like Adventureland or Frontierland stuff that you can. So this scene,
this is getting all kind of like Snoke's throne roomy. Like
some of these rooms are so vast. And the lighting is so that's I think a lot of the stuff that Bryce was mentioning is the lighting in a lot of these is very reminiscent of the video games, like you had said with the battle earlier. And
John Wick just walked in.
So this is a freaky scene right here. Look at this room.
What?
Yeah. So he's not sure what to make of it. But there's a Rebels seen Jedi. Look, it's so freaky that she has to take it to the torture level without being able to get any information out of Leia. So he's seeing all kinds of faces. I felt one of the early ones looked like Quinlan, but the reference to him coming around made it seem like he's probably not dead, but who knows?
It's like, no, it ain't happening. So this is the thing, like, you know, in the original trilogy, she's, you know, the probe droid with the random hypodermics coming
right.
in. She's like, okay, do your worst, dude. Been there, done that.
Yeah, she's been through. Look, there's, isn't that one of the kids from the
that's
temple
one
scene?
Of the Padawan.
It's like Master. No, it's a different one, not the one that says Master Skywalker or whatever, but definitely a Padawan. And then another youngling screams out.
No, you're not. Not sorry.
It's interesting how quickly she got to where they are from wherever the hell she was.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of randomly.
Yeah, it takes Obi-Wan forever to find this place, but she's just, it's in the next room.
I'm going to leave this bridge and be in the room with her, or, well, next to her. I confused those two characters because they look very similar.
Okay, I did too. It's not the same person.
Right. And it's the color of her outfit is different too. I confused that the first time and I confused it this time. But, you know, the fact that message got relayed so quickly, I guess it's just communication more than actual walking. But it couldn't have been too far because she got there fairly quick, it seems. And why didn't she just do like a hologram thing with her?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it's
all about
they don't like just
plot
FaceTime and using
convenience.
Their phone and space phones all the time.
Oh, this is great.
All right.
Wah.
Bye. See ya. Toodles. And this dude's like,
But this whole like lighting with that, like the red light on the trooper and nothing else visible is very much like the video games. And the newer games, like Fallen Order and some other stuff. Yeah, they were ready to torture Grogu just like they were ready to torture Leia. But Grogu's cuter for 50 than any of us, so... Leia's cute for 10, but she's not going to be that cute for 50.
Yeah.
But they did pick a good actress, and she has very similar kind of mannerisms and look as Carrie. I love this right here is great right here. This whole the way she kind of plays off what's going on. And sort of like admits that she's a spy, but backhandedly.
That she's a spy, that she's like double agenting.
Yeah, she's a spy for them, basically, as opposed to a spy for the resistance or the rebels. What are they called at this point?
See, I thought she was talking about the path.
Oh.
Was she not referring to them at this point? The path, or the I don't know.
Yeah.
So
this is before the rebels, because this is, I guess, the rebellion didn't really start yet. Did it?
No, because technically the rebellion doesn't start till Solo, right?
Yeah. So.
So is this before or after Solo?
I would say this is.
It's really fuzzy about the same time because
I'm thinking Solo.
Like 10 years older than Leia, and Han is like 20-ish in.
But it was.
Solo.
I was thinking, and that makes him like he's like I thought he was like 35 in A New Hope. So like it was 15 years, but it could be 10 to 15 years.
Right.
So it's probably before this, or right around this time, one or the other.
It should be. It could be pretty similar to the same time. Solo is happening like now.
It's great to see him get his groove back, as it were, right here.
I mean, he may have lost touch with the Force, but he can still kick ass with a lightsaber.
Yeah, well, this part is great because he's starting to realize he can control it better. Like he's finally able to. Like he was having trouble bouncing the shots earlier.
Neo is starting to believe.
Now this guy is cool. The Black Trooper. He's got a helmet reminiscent to one of the prequel trilogy helmets. Uh-oh.
Boom. Oh, bad scene. That's why you don't reflect lightsabers or flash
near glass.
Water.
But he has a helmet that's similar to like I forget what planet they were on, but it has this weird sort of graduated thing going on, but he's a black version of that. And I guess he's called a Purge Trooper.
Away.
And he's supposed to be like under the Inquisitors and trained to fight Jedi. So that's partially why he's like helped leading this charge. But it's funny how they're like pulling the thing open and trying to shoot. This is crazy. Like, how much can he really do?
Well, I mean, apparently a lot.
It's only for so long. And then... But he's getting, like here it's funny, like they're shooting.
Boom, right through the car.
But then where's he deflecting again? And then... That's crazy, look at that. Wow.
Bye-bye.
Run. That's like 5 minutes too late. Now here,
he's done.
Right here, he would have been totally taken out.
Yep, done.
Look there's not even a drop of water in the hallway with them. There should have been at least a stream of water like rushed in and like wet their ankles. That's pretty crazy right there.
Oh yeah.
Leaving a bunch of drowned troopers like rats in that hallway. This is so dumb.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, this is like the disheveled, not fitting uniform from Indiana Jones. It's like what? He's in a thing like 3 sizes too small.
Two children in a suit disguised as a grown adult. But I love it. It's like nobody notices the extra feet or the fact that he's got this weird like growth on his hip. And then poking her head out every once in a while.
Oh yeah, nobody. Yeah, there you go.
Like nobody's giving him a second look. The droid should be like, What's that? Look at those feet. Little tiny feet. A traitor.
Uh-oh, traitor. What? That's like their favorite vocabulary.
She has to call him out. A child and an old man.
Okay. This will be a thing at Celebration, Lila says, like people with like a kid under their...
Yeah, that'll be a new cosplay. This is great. The timing is impeccable.
Oh.
And the fact that they can control themselves flying full speed into that hangar without smashing into the back wall, I thought was pretty hardcore.
That's how the Force works.
Well, they're not Force sensitive.
You don't know that.
I guess.
Maybe they are.
Well, that's true. We were talking about rescuing anybody who can trying to levitate a rock from there to Coruscant. So, who knows who's flying that?
Yeah, it amazes me for the whole I'm not with a blaster deal, but he's just
now. So these are modified, or these are pre Episode 5 snow speeder type vehicles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they just loaded that one up with like twice its payload. Where did they stuff the extra person? I could see Leia sitting on Obi-Wan's lap, but there's only like Dak had a back seat. There was Luke and Dak. There wasn't a third seat. Maybe there's a jump seat. Anyways, that guy got
cargo bay.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I guess there's a possibility, but. Anyways, had to sacrifice somebody there.
Right, yeah, no, they couldn't get away with that completely clean.
Surprised she hasn't put her saber away. This is great. All right. Vader in action. Just pissed. Whenever he works his subordinates, it makes me very happy. Even though I hate bosses like that. But I don't mind watching Vader.
Like, okay, we're gonna motivate the troops by going in and force choking the middle management.
So this is the whole thing where basically he copies this idea later.
Yeah.
Where they let him go and put the tracker on the or whatever. He's like, you sure the tracker's on the ship, on the Falcon or whatever?
Mm-hmm. Are you sure that the
spoiler alert for Episode 4, also called Star Wars.
If you have not seen Star Wars.
He's certain the tracker is with him. So this Vader sounds much more original Vader than when I was listening to that replay of some Rogue One shots earlier. He sounded
I mean, it doesn't sound like an older James Earl Jones.
Right. You can't hear any aging in this version's voice. That's really cool too. How is fly full speed into another ship, and not
that's the same way that they get Kit on the 18-wheeler.
Oh, that's true. But I would think you would do this thing instead of that thing. But I'm not the director, and of course there has to be the loss. Where's Wade?
Yes. Not a very swarzy name. Wade.
Sounds like Deadpool. Or Deadshot. Both of them are named Wade, aren't they? One of those other dead guys. But, there's got to be the loss here. It's sad. You could have let them both go. Reva could have let both of them go. Didn't have to throw that box. So is that like alcohol or is that water? It looks sort of like a decanter, like it would be some spotchka or something.
Flask. Oh.
We got the little touching scene. This, like what you were saying earlier, is kind of what would cement the idea that Ben is the name of the son.
Right.
But it's interesting because in A New Hope, she never actually meets him. She goes to meet him, and then he gets struck down. Spoiler alert. And Han's dealt with them the whole time.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't call them.
So Han has a different relationship with them. So this is crazy right here. The red eye.
No.
Anyways, that was a great episode too. A lot of amazing action and intense stuff, and that little touching piece at the end.
Now you got to know: does the HasLab or the Hasbro like Lola? Does it have an evil mode?
Yeah, they got the switch in the back.
Evil Lola mode.
Gonna put it in evil crusty doll mode. With a little switch. Yeah, somebody switch it to evil. But yeah, that'd be a nice little like unlockable feature in that one that's supposed to, there's not a HasLab per se.
Not a Hasbro. I mean, it's a Hasbro Pulse.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's that one that's supposed to be available in like November or something.
Yeah.
But it's really cool what it does. But if it had a combination that you could press to make it go evil, that would be pretty funny. Yeah, I thought that was that other pilot was Maya. I forget. I couldn't catch her last name, but she's in the show called Pen 15, which is about her and her friend like in middle school, and then they actually play middle schoolers, which is just bizarre because they're 35-year-olds or whatever. But yeah, she's the star of that show, and some other things I don't know. But thought she looked familiar. It's interesting.
Yeah, they don't show Sherry how she gets Lola back. It's like
well, she had her in her hand, and then they cut that scene, and you never saw what Reva did with her or didn't do with her. And then like you didn't see her destroy her like you saw like you said Flea did earlier, not destroy her but smash her. And then what was it? Get it fixed, which was nice. But she did something to her, obviously. Maybe she just did it while she was holding her. You never know. She could have done it with the Force. Who knows?
Yeah. She made her read Sith runes, and that's
Special thanks to Dave Filoni. So what do we got here? Ryder McLaughlin. Oop, I missed it.
Oh, that goes by too fast. And they're like recommending after if you like let's
watch episode 1.
Phantom Menace next.
Yes. So we have Wade, the guy that got blowed up was Ryder McLaughlin. Fortress Inquisitor security guard. Oh, the guy that tried to pull the...
Oh, yeah, the guy that said...
no access.
I am the security supervisor.
Joss Glenn Smith. Fortress Inquisitor Terminal Officer, David Will Know. Jedi Younglings, which is weird because they show a youngling, but it looks like it's played by twins, Jonathan Ho and Oliver Ho. Which is weird for an actor who's not moving. Fortress Inquisitor Officer Helen Day. That's the other one that looked. She looked a lot like that other character.
Surprisingly like Tala.
Right.
It's just like
and a slight variation of the uniform. It's kind of confusing, but whatever. They cast how they cast. So that was great. Very intense.
Yeah.
A lot of cool visuals for sure in that episode.
Well, you get like tons of new to, I think, the majority of fans stuff. Like if you are like the video game person, you've seen a lot of this hints and stuff and this and that. Because even this whole fortress deal is in the video game, right?
I'm not sure if the fortress itself is for sure, but I know elements of what we saw have similar type scenes in the games. If Bryce had stayed, we would know.
We would, because I don't know. I didn't play this because I was like a Nintendo person, so I had like Wii's and Nintendos. And
right.
This was all like PlayStation or Xbox or something.
Right. I'm haven't been into the games quite so much since like
maybe even PC, but this was definitely not Nintendo. I mean, I bought the Wii like lightsaber training thing and put my Wiimote in a little
right.
lightsaber. And I think that had Force Unleashed or something with Calgus.
I haven't played Star Wars video games a lot since like the stand-up arcade game.
Well, the one that I probably played the most
or the
was,
sit-down version.
Atari.
Yeah, I remember I think it was I think it was the Nintendo version where you played as Luke and you did all these crazy like freaky jumps to get up stuff. I think that was Nintendo. I remember my friends would play that. I'd play a little, but I always sucked, so I'd like prefer to watch other people that were good play. Sort of like people do on Twitch nowadays.
Like the Atari 2600, like Empire Strikes Back, or
oh yeah, those clunky ass graphics. Yeah, horrible little weird. I mean, it represented it well enough, I guess, for the time, but
the message across.
Not ideal. And nowadays, it would keep anybody's attention. But it is sort of that retro style thing that people like. All right, well, that was fun.
Right, Jerry. Yeah, I was giving a kid crap the other day, one of the kids I teach, because he showed up wearing a Pac-Man t-shirt. And I'm like, I don't think your parents know what that is. Like, no.
My friend could get to the 256th key, and then the game would glitch. That took a long time. But for a quarter, that was a hell of an investment. If you could do that. I think the longest I ever played a video game for a quarter was 4 hours on a game called Bagman. And I got like 1,000,000 points, and that was it, like just over 1,000,000. And then the longest I think I ever played a game that people would know, Donkey Kong Jr., I think I played for like a half hour on a quarter, maybe 40 minutes.
I remember playing like the 4-player Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah. Well, that would on one quarter, but as
I don't know.
Those ones you could, I think, continue once that kind of game came out. But also having multiple people playing, like that one in the Simpsons game, kind of gave you a different kind of advantage, where you could work as a team, or not work as a team.
Yeah, I think that the like single player one that I would play the most was like, I think Karate Champ.
Oh, There was some, side kicks and stuff. Yeah, it was very much Karate Kid ripoff. All right. Well, we got 2 more episodes coming up for the series and 2 more watch-alongs. We're going to do single episodes.
Like you said, these next 2 are going to be one at a time. We won't make you wait.
Everybody can check out after the first episode and don't have to hang around for a second. So whether or not we'll have all seen them prior to watching next week, we'll see. But we should have the return of Spencer, and you never know what other things could pop up.
Yeah, you never know. It's like, stay tuned to the page. We'll announce when we get official confirmation of special guests. And,
yes, but keep an eye out. And otherwise, we got anything else we need to talk about?
I don't think so. Just like check us out.
Oh yeah, this will be up on BCN.
This weekend is going to be New Unifying Force. Monday is going to be the next episode of Rebels Revisited.
Yes.
Watch that out, and then at a not to be told yet or to be determined time will be our post celebration celebrating autographs with Frank Rich. So lots of cool stuff coming up. And as promised on Tuesday night, dropping very soon, a new little show on the Virtual Cantina Network, Star Wars Show and Tell. So watch out for that one. That's coming.
That should be fun.
Yep.
All right. Well, it was great hanging out, and hope everybody enjoyed listening to us yap.
That's how it is.
All right. Well, may the Force be with you. See you next time. And
is this the way? Or I don't know. I need
what is the Kenobi line?
I need like an Obi-Wan.
Goodbye there.
Goodbye there. I like that.
All right. Have a good one.
Later.
End that live video. End.